We have night 309 of the Arabian Nights of the 1001 Nights on 309. Good morning, Dawn. Scheherazade broke off and she started up at 309. She's continued. I have heard, O fortunate king, that Ali said. I have heard and shall obey. But then what, my son, said Mujahideen, remember God, and he will remember you. Preserve your wealth, and don't be extravagant, for if you are, you will find yourself needing help from the lowest of men. Know that a man's worth depends on what he owns. How excellent are the poet's lines. We get some poetry in here, huh? From Scheherazade. The poet's lines say, when I am short of funds, no friend will stay with me. If I am wealthy, all men are my friends. How many an enemy befriends me thanks to wealth? When money vanishes, how many friends are turned to foes? What then? Asked Ali. My son, replied his father, consult your elders when you want something. Never act hastily. If you show mercy to your inferiors, your superiors may have mercy on you. Treat no one unjustly, lest God put you in the power of someone who will be unjust to you. How well the poet expressed it. Quote, join someone else's opinion to your own and take advice. Two people will not fail to see the proper course. Man is a mirror which shows him his own face, but only with two mirrors can he see the back of his own head. Good advice, huh? Poetic advice. This is from 1001 Nights. So we have 1001 pieces of advice from Scheherazade. Cool. Another poet said, go slowly. Do not rush at what you want. Show mercy and you will meet the merciful. There is no power that God's power does not surpass. And no wrongdoer will escape one who does wrong. Yet another poet said, do not act unjustly when you have the power, for in vengeance overtakes the wrongdoer. You may sleep, but your victim is awake, cursing you in God's eye, and never sleep. Beware of drinking wine. This is the source of all evil. It does away with reason and brings the drinker into contempt. How well the poet expressed this. Can you imagine the caliph listening to this stuff? She's telling him not to drink his wine. What do you think, Jer? By God, I shall not fall victim to wine. While soul is joined to body and my wits are clear, I'll never feel a hankering for it. My choice companions are none but the sober. This is my advice to you. Keep it before you and God, and will act in my place as your mentor. When he had said this, Mujahideen lost consciousness, but after an interval of silence, he regained his senses, asked pardon from God, and recited the confession of faith. He then died and was received into the mercy of Almighty God. Ali Shar shed tears and bewailed the death of his father. The necessary preparations were made for the funeral, and the bier was accompanied on foot by high and low alike. The Quran reciters read the Quran aloud around the coffin, and no single thing that should have been done was omitted by Ali. Prayers were said over the grave as the body was burned, and over the grave these verses were inscribed. Quote, you were created from earth, becoming a live creature. You were taught to speak with eloquence. You have returned to earth, becoming a dead thing. It is as though you never left the earth at all. Ali Shar grieved deeply for his father and followed the custom of the leading men in arranging for ceremonies of mourning to be held for him. He was still in mourning when a short time later his mother died. For her too, he made similar arrangements. Then he took his seat in his shop, began the business of buying and selling, but in accordance with his father's advice. He was not on intimate terms with anyone. This went on for a year, but after that some bastard child of fornication tricked their way into his favor and became his companions. In their company he turned to debauchery, abandoning the path of right guidance. He drank wine, frequented the company of pretty girls. Morning and evening, my father collected all this money for me, he said to himself. If I don't spend it, to whom am I going to leave it? By God, I shall follow the poet's words. Quote, if you spend all your days acquiring and amassing wealth, when are you to enjoy what you have got? As a result, he spent all his nights and days squandering his wealth until it had all gone and he had become poor. In his straitened circumstances, his distress, he had to sell his shop, his property, everything else. He even had to sell his own clothes, leaving himself with a single suit. When he was cured of his drunkenness and had begun to think again, he was overcome by sadness. One day, when he had sat from daybreak until afternoon without eating, he told himself that he would make the rounds of those he had spent his money on, in the hope that one of them might give him food for the day. He visited them all, but when he knocked on any door, the owner would hide away from him, pretending not to be there. Consumed by hunger, he went to the trader's market. We had read night 309 from Arabian Nights with Malcolm Lyons, Malcolm Lyons translated. And it seems that Ali got into trouble after his father and mother died. Right? But that's the nature of the story. We had read Night 309. Let's see what's going to happen tomorrow.